So now let's talk about self-motivation as well as self-management. Self-motivation and management revolves around your ability to manage yourself, to manage your time, to manage your resources towards achieving your goal. No doubt, sometimes there are a lot of people with a lot of resources, and most times they often couldn't manage it successfully. There are a lot of people with um, so many things to which are more like resources which could be utilized towards growth, but they couldn't really manage it successfully, and thus led to sabotage, sort of, in one way or the other, in any category of life in which they actually work on. So now it is important that as a person, in order for you to utilize emotional intelligence in growing your business or in growing your career, you must understand the role of management plays. And that involves you being able to control your emotions, you being able to develop an adaptability trait, and you being able to develop an optimistic personality or an optimistic identity, and as well being able to develop a success orientation approach towards life. First, emotional self-control is something that's very important. In the last video, I showed you the importance of self-awareness, and most especially emotional self-awareness. So it is important that being aware of your emotions is as important as being able to control your emotions. Because if you're able to control your emotions, the world is able to, by default, take have the grip of your temperament, and the world is able to record much more success in the meeting with people. It's perhaps a business area or perhaps a career development. There are instances in which people just flare up and begin to engage in outrageous great abandon, begins to like involve in violence and all sort of things. And when you find out I mean, what are the rationales behind it, or why is this person acting this way, and it gives you the reasons, you now begin to think, how could such thing throw someone off balance to the point of engaging in anger, to the extent of engaging in violence or even aggression? The point is, such person have actually not taken courage to have their temperament, their self-control under grip, or perhaps they've not been able to manage their emotions successfully. So in such, I mean, someone with such qualities or with such attributes, be it in business relationship, be it in career path, such person might not be able to record much more growth as compared to someone who has the ability to put these emotions under control. No doubt about the fact that emotions serves good purpose, most especially in day-to-day activities, or inability to manage one's emotions could often be uh, could often sabotage business. Say, for instance, you want to patronize, or you have a client. I mean, you have a businessman with which you patronize, and you realize the person couldn't manage his emotions, and the way he speaks to the customers, the way he interacts with with the customers doesn't show that he has emotional feelings towards the customers, and he felt, I mean, he's the boss, he's the one in charge of the business and all of that. And he doesn't see how best, he doesn't see the need for him to manage himself, to control himself towards ensuring customer satisfaction. Before you realize it, I, for a person, I'll stop patronizing the person because I've felt the person's spirit to do a little bit of business in the area of managing his emotions. And I want to believe the same thing applicable to people in general. When people can manage their emotions, when you often give into anger, give into violence, and all sort of things that are not contributing to business and career growth, you realize that people tend to stop patronizing them. And as a result of that, business is going to go down the drain, and most people or many people have actually gone down the drain because of lack of emotional support. So which is that in growing your business or in growing your career, you want to pay close attention to emotional self control and make sure you put your emotions under control as much as you can. So that you won't be able to direct your emotions towards your goals, towards your objectives, towards your rather than allowing your emotions um, more like control you or allowing your emotions to direct you towards the growing of your business or towards the growing of your career. Now let's talk about adaptability. This as well is very, very important. Today you realize that despite the fact that people don't have unique identity, there are some people that don't have identity. And as I earlier mentioned in the previous video, the point is the point isn't because they don't want to have a self identity. They want to actually have a self identity. But when they don't have a self awareness, then having a self identity again pose a little bit of challenge. And when people don't have a self identity, in one way or the other, they tend to be closed. I mean, there are some people they tend to be closed minded. They are not, they don't have dynamic mindsets. So if you don't have a dynamic mindset, being adaptable would be more of a challenge. So in order for you to be able to manage yourself successfully, to be able to manage your resources, to be able to manage your it is important to develop an adaptable uh, um, personality. That involves you being able to develop an open-minded mindset or perhaps to develop a dynamic mindset rather than a static mindset. And when you have this dynamic mindset, you be much more flexible in your approach towards life. And aside being flexible about your approach towards life, you'll be flexible in your business dealings, in your career dealings. You, before you realize it, you cut much more growth. And for someone who is kind of static, who is kind of fixed, who is kind of who has more like who is not dynamic in terms of who doesn't have a dynamic mindset, who tends to more like only see things from his own perspective alone, and that's where rigidity often comes in. First person will tend to be much more rigid. First person would always want to feel again everything should revolve branding, it should always have the final say. Even to such people, for instance, in a career path, you've seen instances where teamwork, people come together to execute the project, but one person would want to like, okay, my own view should always stand above those of others, or perhaps I should take credit for what other people actually contributed towards. So this as well, I mean, kind of static mindset, or someone who is kind of dynamic, who has a dynamic mindset, will tend to see people, I mean, will tend to be much more flexible, and flexibility often goes along with tolerance. So we want to see how best to develop an adaptability quality. Also, optimism and initiative. One good thing about you being able to manage yourself or yeah, to manage yourself is you should be able to show within optimism and pessimism. And you should be able to take some certain initiative. And for you to be able to manage yourself successfully, you can say you manage yourself successfully when you always see how best you can choose optimism over pessimism. You want to try as much as you can to always have an optimistic view about life. To always have an optimistic view about your talent, about your goals. To always have an optimistic view about your uh, about perhaps your project or about your relationship. Or when you choose pessimism over optimism, then you can easily come to the conclusion that you're leaving your self-management to default or to you are actually not self-managing yourself. So you want to be passionate about your goals. You want to be passionate about the success of your project. You want to be passionate about the success of your um, about anything you do. Because when you're passionate about it and you see how best you can be right in what you're doing. You tend to more like shift focus from a pessimism view to an optimism view. And that by default would help you in order to have an optimistic view or optimistic identity as compared to having a pessimism. And the last part of it is self-motivation. On self-motivation and management is success orientation. So you want to see how best to cultivate success orientation. I mean, prior to executing your project or prior to fully engaging in anything you're doing, in which you would need to measure your success, you want to have a picture of such a thing and of such project. You want to have a clear illustration of what is outcome would be like, and you want to focus more on such outcome. When you tend to focus more on the outcome, you realize your success orientation, you begin to have success orientation about life. And also you want to dwell more on the success you've recorded in time past. Because when you keep recounting failure in one aspect of life, you by default gradually be losing focus of your success of your successes. And if you lose focus of success in various categories of life, then by default you will be sabotaging yourself and thus using your self-management or self-motivation to randomness. And that wouldn't actually help either in career growth or perhaps in business. So emotional self-control is of importance, adaptability is of importance, optimism is of importance, and self-success orientation is of importance. So far we've been able to cover two parts, two categories of emotional intelligence. The first one being self-awareness, the second one now being self-motivation and management. Now we want to see the role of social awareness, that is empathy, in contributing to both business as well as career.